All right, you guys, it is 8:05 on the 29th of September. This is the last Sunday in September. This is the last week of our virtual 101. So I want to start off with asking you guys what questions you have since you started playing with your virtual parties and the items that we have done. What do you guys have questions about? Now, Sharon, I know you went live once. I saw it. I think you're the only one who did.
That was
so you
awesome.
get extra kudo points for that because everybody else did not. I'm going to switch screens here. Hang
on. Yeah, you did awesome. That was really good.
No.
You didn't seem nervous at all.
No, you didn't. You seemed like you had it down pat, so that was very good.
I've still got to study more on the Canva. I've just not got back to it to play with it and mess with the template and the whole bit.
That's fine. Well, and virtual shows don't have to be completely Canva. That's just an option. So that should, keep working on it, playing on it. And the more you play on it, the better off you'll get. Same thing with going live. The more you go live, the more confident you'll get with that. I know when April and I both started going live, both of us had a pretty good batch of butterflies in our stomachs because we weren't sure we were doing it right and what do you say and all those things. So April, I know you were gone, but last week we talked about, how to not sit there and say, and not to apologize for how your house looks or your hair looks or anything like that, and just to keep going. So we talked about that. So this week is I wanted to get a guest speaker and I couldn't quite pull that off. And my week kind of went totally different direction than I wanted it to. I spent most of it on the road. I put 1,200 miles on my car this week.
So sorry about your losses.
Thank you. It was, it was really neat, and I'll talk about it at another point in time, but it's just neat to see how God does things through circumstances like that. We lost my aunt, and she was a very dear, sweet soul, but it was a very uplifting time at the same time, which is pretty interesting. So, but anyway, so I wanted to have a guest speaker on, and the one person I really wanted to get on had a death in her family as well, and so she was not able to do it, but she said maybe some other time. So maybe we'll revisit a similar subject. I wanted to get Mindy on, and she had a death in her family as well.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And she does so many different types of ways of going live. That's why I wanted to kind of get her versus what we have already talked about. So what I thought we would do tonight is spend some time talking about engagement and working on getting more engagement on our virtual parties themselves. And I ran across a few things that I really liked, so I just kind of played off of those. And then some booking ideas, and I figured if we don't have bookings in the first place, it's kind of pointless to spend all this time on the virtual shows and how to do them. So I figured we would spend the end of the evening talking about the end of this call, not evening. The evening's over. The end of this call talking about some booking ideas. And I have three ones that I have not done in a while. One I learned about last weekend, and I don't know if we mentioned it last week or not, but I thought I would give you a little more detail. And one that came to me when I was thinking through trying to figure out some ways to do that. So, because I'm at this point where my bookings are going to have to come from different sources than my normal, because I've kind of beaten through my pond. Like I've beaten up the pool I'm in. It's time to get into a different pool. So that being said, let's go on. So when you're online and you see things that somebody else has done, there is a Pampered Chef virtual group. They have lots of things on there. You can see other vendors do different things as well. The one here on your right with the Christmas motif that says, if your home address was your Christmas spending budget, how much would you have? I saw one a while back that said if your address was your food budget, like your grocery budget, I'd be in hog heaven. Actually, it works for either one because my home street address is 3,300. You don't care what you pick.
Mine is 8.
Yeah, so yeah, it would suck. So you'd have to become a Pampered Chef consultant to make up that extra for your Christmas budget. So, but what I wanted to do though is not take what they had. I want to take it and make it my own so that we stay out of the whole cell block thing. This other one, obviously this person used Squee, and I don't see a major problem with this one, but I want to make it my own. Based on some of the things that I mentioned to you guys before talking about Squee and your posts, to me, the words coming off the picture onto the orange makes it a little scattered. And that's just me and my marketing background. So I would actually fix and tweak that a little bit anyway before I would use it. But because somebody has used it, and I found it on Facebook, not even in a virtual group, I want to sit there and change it so it's my own. So I'm going to show you what I did. So again, there's hers and there's mine.
That looks way better.
So just simple, I changed the wording so it's not the same exact thing I have Let's Get Shopping, but I actually went back afterwards and I just forgot to put it on here and said ready to shop. So it's not the exact same wording because I changed the bottom wording as well. And then I have the equal sign and a couple dollar signs and that kind of thing. And I just shrunk the picture up. She actually did that thing I showed you guys where you fade the picture. And again, that's totally fine. I just didn't want my words going off to the sides. And I loved her idea. I'm giving her credit for it. I know who it was. Whoever did this, kudos. But I wanted to make it my own. All right, so this Christmas one. Now, the other thing, too, is when you copy and paste, if they didn't do a super clean picture in the first place, you can see this is kind of blurry.
Fuzzy.
And it's kind of fuzzy, so we don't want that. So I did that. And you could pick any background you wanted to for Christmas and put those words in there. There's no reason to not. And I just played with Christmas colors and made sure they were bright enough to show up with the black background, the dark background, and we were good to go. Again, 3,300. Woohoo! Works for my budget. And then I found this one. People post goofy pictures of accidents, mishaps, goofy kid stunts. This one I thought was perfect. First of all, I love the blue in the background in her little dress. And you could not have planned that pasta around her eyes even any better than if you had tried. You could even make that an eyeglass commercial. I mean, you could do like anything with this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, tired of getting your hair done the old way. I mean, so many ways you could take this picture and go with it. But I just thought, what is your cutest kitchen mishap? And people are going to respond to that. And that's what you want to do. You want to pick a game that they're going to do, that they're going to respond. You're going to want to pick questions that they'll respond to. If you say, what would you rather eat, liver or fish? Most people are going to go, ew, I'm not even answering that question. You know, if you say, what would you rather have, chocolate or fries? They're going to answer. So this picture was a set of slides in a thing talking about mishaps with your kids. One was like, you know, the kid's sitting on the toilet and there's permanent marker all over him, all over his legs, all over the countertop, all over the wall, all over the toilet paper. Okay, the cute, funny, aha, can't really apply it to us. But then this was one of them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to squeeze those cheeks and look at those blue eyes. So it's a kitchen mishap. Find something that'll get people to interact. So this was not copied off of anybody else for this reason, so that makes it easy. This was a very simple picture I put in Canva, chocolate or fries. And people respond because people like savory or sweet. Some people go, please don't make me pick. I always think that one's hilarious. Okay, you can have both. You see them all the time. If you had to give up one thing, what would it be? And it's like tacos, pizza, chicken wings, or something else. And they're like, you know, and one of them is pretty simple. Last time we did that, it was burgers, tacos, chicken wings, burgers, pizza, and tacos. And I picked chicken wings because there's other parts of the chicken I can eat without having to eat the wings and not really give up my chicken, and I can still eat all the rest. But yeah, so pick something like that. And again, I did this in Canva, super simple. If you can sit there and just spend a little bit of time online, you can do it in Google. You can just start typing in anything you want to look for. You can do gourmet burgers. You can do flavors of ice cream. You can find slides and pictures that people have already done, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So this is one. You can do a number of different things with this. So like, I don't know if you can see the word. It might be too small, but let me read them across the top. The first one is Bohemian Radishy. Olive and let die. Hit me with your best shallot. Better late than never. Don't you for cheddar about me. So it keeps going on. Gordon Ramsay. So there's a bunch of different things on this. So you can either sit there and say, which of these would you not eat? Okay, so that's like a burger with ham on it. One is if looks could kale, so it means there's kale on that burger. Eggers can't be cheesers, so that means there's an egg on your burger. And I know people, I'm married to one, who does not want burger on his hamburger. I mean, an egg on his hamburger. Especially if it's an over medium egg, because he doesn't like the goo. I think that's the best part, but he doesn't. So you could have them go, which of these would you not eat? So kale on my burger, or an egg on my burger, peas and thank you. I don't want peas on my hamburger. However you want to go with that. Or you could sit there and say, tell me what the corrected phrase is. So Gordon Ramsay's actually, obviously Gordon Ramsay. Eggers can't be cheesers is what? Beggars can't be choosers, right? If looks could kill. So you could get them to name the correct phrase and or talk about which of those would they not eat? I like the baby, you can chive my car, and they've got the pickles to look like little wheels on the bottom there. So that's just something that has nothing to do with Pampered Chef or anything else. And I just found that and plugged it in. Another thing to do to get some interaction and to remind people with what's going on in your shows is to change the banner. And I think, April, you might have been one who said something about this at one point in time. It might have been last week. So I thought I'd show you guys what it was. So this is one you would do like a day or 2 days before the party closes. This is the banner that goes across your page. This is a simple one picture, our logo, and some words. And I made it on purpose so that it fit small inside the actual frame. So that way I didn't have to get super, super worried about it not fitting on the screen correct, because they still haven't quite gotten the sizing correct between Squee and Facebook. But if you kind of squinch it into the middle and leave a border, you're usually pretty good. So this would be something you'd put on 1 or 2 days before. I just like the coloring. You can play with your colors. You can pick a picture that has any colors you want on it. You just want it. What happens is, though, when you put this up and you change your banner, it alerts everybody in the group that the cover picture has changed. So it's not even so much that somebody's made a post, because that's a different notification. It makes everybody aware that the picture of the group has changed. Even if they haven't accepted the invite yet, I believe they actually get a notice for it as well. I'm not sure on that one. Somebody told me, and I would have to try to find somebody who hasn't accepted an invite to see if they got a notice. But even if that kind of came close to that, that'd be awesome. The next one would be another one. Change the picture, change the logo. You can even switch the sides and put the picture on the right, the logo on the left. Doesn't really matter. But this say the party's closing today. Get your orders in. And I think by changing these top pictures, I think it's going to help us have a little bit less pushiness to it, if that makes any sense, even though you're still putting it out there. You're not putting parties closing in 4 hours, parties closing in an hour, last call, you know, that kind of thing. There were so many posts that I've seen some people use. The last day and a half is constantly, it's closing, it's closing, it's closing, it's closing, get your orders in, it's closing. And I don't like that. If I were in a different sales company and I kept sales party and that kept happening, I'd be out. I'm done. So there's that. My husband's cooking something and it's burning. I can smell it.
You need to
Okay.
check it?
So what?
Do you need to go check it?
No. He's a big boy.
Okay.
I'm going to let it go. I'm just going to let it go. So any other ideas that you guys have with engagement that has worked for you? And if you are watching this after the fact, if you want to comment on our group page of any great engagement ideas that you've come across, by all means, please let us know. In my opinion, if you want to have something on here that you want people to be involved with, make sure you would do it. If you were on somebody else's party and somebody asked you that question, would you be like, I don't want to answer that? Or would you be like, oh, that's great, blah, 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 blah. Here's your answer. And I do think we have to think outside of what we've done, because everybody has done, you know, what is your favorite morning food, or, you know, what's your biggest disaster in your kitchen, which is why I put what is your cutest mishap, because that's totally different than watching your microwave melt down. This is what's something funny that your kids did, or who's the messiest eater of your kids. You could totally put that one in there, you know, and show that. There's lots of different ways you can play with these. Make sure it's something you would want to do. The other thing, and I don't know if you guys have come across this and I didn't make a slide for it, is get your host involved. Get her to tag people that she thinks of when she sees the pictures or the products. She can also make her own pictures and products. I give all of my hosts, I want them at 5 different times to post 5 different products that they love and use regularly that they haven't seen me post about. And now, even if they have to stretch outside of the, down to a little thing, like they don't have to all be big things or power tools. You know, like one of the things could be their metal straws. She has them in her purse and she takes them with her everywhere. It could be a rock crock type thing. If she beats me to it, she's talked about it before, I've shown it in the party, that's fine. Because I can easily sit there and go, hey, you remember that thing that Susie said she loves so much? Here it is. And now I'm making taco dip, et cetera, et cetera. So that works really cool for that. That gets them engaged as well, because it's coming from the host, not just from us. All right. bookings. We're going to roll on to bookings. So here's a couple of ideas that came across. So the friends, the Facebook thing. I'm going to describe this and then I'm going to go show you it on Facebook. You go to the bottom of your friends list, your friends. Look at your list and make sure it's not doing the alphabetical thing. When you hit all, it should not be alphabetical. And I don't quite remember how we fixed it, but if you give that problem, let me know and I'll dig through it and figure it out. But when you go, it's supposed to go in the order of how often you talk or interact with those people to the ones you barely interact with when you go through your list. So what I want you to do is do that, and then you're going to go to the very bottom and pick those first 10 people. And you're going to just go to something on their page and you're just going to like it. And that's it. A couple of days later, you're going to go back and make a simple comment. So 10 different friends, 1 comment each after the likes. So let me go show you guys what I'm talking about. I'm going to do this. So if I go on my friends list for me, I have 1,500 friends. I'm really not that popular. Half the time we wonder who these all are, but that's okay. So you pull your friends list up and you can see that it's all of them. It's not any particular order. And you're going to scroll down to the very bottom and you can hit Control End and it goes down at a screen at a time. It can take a while at times. So I'm just going to pretend I'm at the very bottom. Okay, that's actually really not the case, but you're going to go all the way to the bottom. And you're going to then see out of these people, the ones that you have recently not talked to. So see, keeps loading and goes all the way down. It'll take a while to get to the very bottom. So let's just say these are the last ones at the bottom of the page and I have not interacted with them in a while. I'm going to just go to their page. You can click on the name and it takes them right to their page. And then I'm just going to find something on her page that I like and comment. So, okay, there's her profile picture. She changed it. All I'm going to do is like it. And then I'm going to go back to my friends page and continue doing that. Now, what I would recommend is to write down the 10 people that you've done that with and then that you've liked it. And then next day you can go back and just search for those people instead of going through the list again, because it's going to change where you are in that list. So that'll also help you to not hit the same people. If I eventually go through 1,500, all of my 1,500 friends, and I can't remember if I've talked to Benjamin yet or not, I'm going to want to make sure I don't overdo it or don't redo it or something like that, because then it looks like you're just fishing and we don't want to do that. So then you can go back to those people and make your comment. So let's say, for an example, that I've already liked one of his posts. This is my brother, by the way, so I can pick on him. He did an old-timey ride today that's for prostate cancer, and it's called the Gentleman's Ride, and they're supposed to dress up in old-fashioned apparel and ride their motorcycles, and I guess there's a bunch of them today, so that's why he did that. So I could just sit there, let's say I've already liked it, and he's not somebody I talk to normally. I can sit there and say, look snappy. So that's not anything about Pampered Chef. It's not anything about trying to sell them anything. That's just something very simple that you can do to start interacting. And what happens is that then pulls their next few comments up into your feed and puts them back into your timeline. And that way that it gives you a chance to interact with them more often and helps them see what you've been working on. Now, though, once they do that, and if they start making some comments towards you, or you see a couple of other ways that you can get into and then make a comment about Pampered Chef, you're not just fishing in an empty barrel. They're people who've recently seen what you're up to. Does that make sense? Okay, I see a couple head nods, so we're going to go with that. The other thing that you can do is on Consultants Corner, you can go into contacts. Now, some of you are new. I totally get that. You click on My Contacts. I guess I thought I'd logged in. You can go into your contacts. And at any point in time, you can pull any people off of your contact list that you want to in several different types of categories, and it gives you different ways of doing that. And it can pull off into an Excel spreadsheet, or it can also pull it into like a PDF, depending on how you want to manipulate it. So if you want everybody, you can just click on this box and it highlights everybody, all contacts. So I've got 4,483 contacts in here. Everybody, and then I can put I don't want to send an email. You can do that, but we're not talking about that in particular. I actually want to export the selected, okay? When I click on that, it's going to ask me if I want a PDF or an Excel. I do Excel because I can then manipulate it and take out ones that don't have the right kind of contact information. A while back, we didn't have to have emails, so they had like junk emails. If I want to send just an email, I'm going to take those out. And then if I want to just go through a phone call stage, if I don't have a phone number, I can't call them. This one here, I have no email or no phone number. This is probably somebody that I had on when I first got started, and I didn't have all their information, nor was I required to. So I don't have that, and that was on my part very bad because I can't get a hold of her. So that was obviously very new experience. Try to get all the information you can, because otherwise you have no way of connecting with them. When you
but you know what? Those of us that have been doing it for a million years, we didn't even have fields to put some of that crap, because there wasn't even such a thing as email when we first got started.
Right, exactly. So we do have some of those, and I think that's probably what one of these were back in the beginning, because we didn't have to have an email or a phone number. And so some people just, when people do the catalog shows and just gave you the order forms with just their names and their total and the money, you took it and you put it through, because it was all going to the host. You didn't have to have any of their information. So just go through it as much, but that's why I put mine in Excel instead of a PDF. Either way, you print them off. You can also do this in different ranges. You can put it as your guests, your hosts, past consultants. I don't have those in here because they didn't order. And there's different ways to break that down. And then you can also sort by that as well. I just pulled off my entire list. I'm going to go through them and clean them up a little bit so I can go through them and pick out ones to text, ones to email, and I'm going to slowly hit through, but I want it to be a personalized email. So that's going to take some time, but if you're going to do two-way contacts and get a response, you're going to want to not send an email out to 50 people and have it end up in their spam, then they never got it. Plus, if it comes back, you want to have the one come back telling you that that's a bad address and not a bulk email that didn't go through and you don't know which one it is. Because some computers, depending on how your system comes across, won't tell you which email was bad. It'll just say the batch was bad. And that's not fun. Okay, so that's a second way. The third way is green dotting, and I think we've talked about this before. If not, I'm sure you have seen it or somebody else has. When you look at the right side of your computer screen, right here, you see these green dots. That means these people are active right now. And you can kind of point your mouse. There you go, and get a bar. It'll take you your first previous contacts, and then it does go through an alphabetical list of all the people that are currently on right now. And then you can sit there and look at their green dots.
And it's super easy on your phone too, because at the very bottom of your screen on an iPhone, it tells you how many people are on there right then, and you can just click on it and just kind of scroll through and look. But it'll have like 374 people that are on there at that time, and it's like, wow, that's a lot of potential bookings.
It is, and then you can go through, and then if you're not sure who they are and you can't remember how you know them, you can point to them and their name pops up, and then you can see by some of their friends they're related to also. Like, oh, okay, wait a minute, that's a consultant, or oh, wait a minute, that's based on, because it'll show them like recent friends. So like I know by looking at some of these, she's a consultant, she's, that kind of thing. And because you're not going to be obviously messaging your consultants, so that works with that too. And then the other thing that I came across when I was thinking about it, and I did not pull up a picture for this, is to go through your virtual parties you've had in the past. Now we make them as groups, right? So we can go into our groups. This is just my business page.
And while you're looking for that, I saw something yesterday that somebody posted that if somebody has not been in a group for like, is it a month, that they drop out, that it drops them out of the group now?
Facebook talked about that. If somebody has not been active in your group over that amount of time, that it drops them out. I don't know how consistently they're actually going through and pulling that, because I've got 37 members in this group and it's over a month old. So I don't know. I think they're saying that so that you know to keep on your people and try to keep connected with people. But I don't know. Like I still have 343 members in my VIP group that's been out for a while, and they have not taken any of those people off. Mm-hmm. So I know it's out there. They talked about it, but I don't know how fast they've done it. So with groups, what I would do is create in Canva a picture that says something about what you've got going on right now. You can do the banner for the monthly special from Pampered Chef, so you don't have to create it your own. or you can do some type of holiday special or whatever you want to put on there, and then go into each of your groups and replace that banner page. Which my page load? Come on. And then, so that was, you know, the previous catalog cover. I could replace it with our current one. I could replace it with the Blender special, something along those lines to catch people's attention. Then you could also make a comment. Hey, did you guys see the new banner picture? That's our new Blender. We've got crazy specials going on with this right now. Comment below if you want more information. Something along those lines, but it's a way to connect with that, especially with amazing recruiting specials, host specials, those types of things, because those people were at a party one time. They are guests, and there's a way for you to follow up. So there's a way to do with that. I'm on a pilot program, and I'm getting ready to post in each of these old groups what I've got going on with this pilot and trying to get some interest from them, because that's a batch of people who I had their attention through this party. So it might be an easy way to connect with them again. And then we're hoping that will pull off. So those are the 4 areas I'm going to be digging into, because it's something I haven't really paid super close attention to in that respect, those ways. Green dotting I have. That one is kind of, I always check it because every once in a while somebody pops on you've been wanting to follow back up with. And it's a great way to connect with them, but some of the other ones, not so much. So that's what I'm going to be working on for bookings, because my calendar needs some love. Anybody else have any great booking ideas you're working on right now?
Those are really, really awesome, Kara. Very, very cool.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to go back down. Anybody else have any other questions or anything else you want to look at? It's 8:30, so we are pretty much at our time unless we've got some questions. I don't want to keep everybody too much longer. While you're thinking, you can still ask. Next week, we are going to do a call about vendor events, vendor booths. Mary, who's been on here before, who is one of my accountability partner gurus, is amazing at doing vendor events. She does these huge, like Wisconsin Taste of Home type ones with thousands of people that come through, and she gets a ton of leads. She's got a gorgeous booth set up. She does a ton of cash and carry. So she's going to show her get up and how she does it. But we'll also counter and show another side of doing that without having to have all the cash and carry if that's not something you're capable of doing. And then I believe after that, we're going to start working in on a couple of weeks talking about the registry and wish lists and how to use those better. It's not just for brides. There's ways to use wish lists and a bunch of other different ways as well. And we're going to touch base on that. And then we'll keep going. We're working on that last stretch towards Disney, so we want to make sure we keep working our calendars. And what you guys do over the next couple of months will help you have a decent January and February. So do not let up. Even if you don't have the bookings you want right now, keep at it, keep at it, keep at it, because...
Well, and you know, we're going to be earning spring products before too long, probably like...
very well, it'd be probably November, December.
Maybe. Yeah, usually December for
December
sure.
And January.
And November, December.
Didn't we do November, December, and January last year?
Yeah, I think so. But I just went back today and listened to the December 15th, 18th call that they did with Tracy, with directors, that I'd missed when I was seeing patients. And they were talking about that they had just announced to the top executive group about the new spring products, and they went wild. They were there at about how excited they were about them. So there's going to be...
You said December 18th. Do you mean September? This month? Last month?
Yeah, this month. I mean, it was like September. Yeah, just a couple of weeks ago, Tracy did, at the executive seminar, Tracy did a live call. And she announced that she was going to be retiring from, or leaving Pampered Chef.
She's leaving in March. And Andrew Trenor is going to take over. Yeah. I actually got a chance to visit with an executive who is beyond excited about the stuff that's coming up. Super geeked up. So she said it's...
Did she tell you about what they're having, or did she just say she was excited?
They can't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to winkle it out of them, I don't want them busted because they get in trouble and they can lose title and all that kind of stuff. So I would never push it. But yeah, she was very excited about it. And I also heard a comment from somebody today, or from the last weekend, who said, if you are always doing the same thing because it works for you and you don't want to try something else that's new, and in particular virtual or different styles of shows, she said, you don't expect different results. She said, if you have not gotten into doing virtual parties, you need to do it. And that's how she slowed down and she said it.
Keep talking to me.
So Yeah, she's talking to
Yeah.
many of us, I'm sure. So that I thought that was a good way to close up with today because she's.
I have a question.
This was somebody
Jennifer,
with extreme authority and very
Yeah.
important aspect to this person in the company, and I cannot say, but I will just tell you, she said it very specifically, and she slowed down like that. And she said, if you were not doing it, you need to do it. So that
Yeah.
was kind of like a slap in my face too, like, okay, I really need to pay more attention and get this going better. So,
Yeah.
Or you about to say,
Jennifer,
April?
whose team are you on? I don't know you. Jennifer,
Yeah.
whose team are you on?
I am Donna Nelson.
Okay, great.
And who
Donna
else
is one of the accountability partners in our group that's on with us.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool.
I just
Hey,
finished.
Jennifer, I'm glad you're on.
Thanks. I just finished a vendor event today.
Cool.
Oh, okay, good.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll
Well,
give
and
Donna a
if you
hard time
haven't
for
heard
not
the
being on
other,
here.
if you haven't heard the other videos that are part of this group, they're really good. So there's a lot of good stuff.
I'm going to have to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, good to meet
Yes.
you. I'm April Dumont from Arkansas. So good to meet you.
Thank you. You too.
Glad you're on.
All right, you guys. So with that, I'm going to encourage you to start doing some of these booking ideas and post on our group page how your bookings are going and how many you've gotten, and let's see who has the most by next week. Sound good?
I just want to tell y'all real quick too. I was on the phone with Nicole about 6 or 6:30, and suddenly I heard a squealing of tires, and the phone call was dropped, and she had a wreck, but she's okay.
Oh,
But somebody,
nice.
she was driving 55 down the highway, and somebody pulled out right in front of her, and then she hit them, and then they took off because they knew they were at fault. But she's
Oh,
okay.
poor
She says
thing.
her
She's
car's
okay.
still drivable but messed up, and it shook her up pretty bad. So anyway, I just want to tell y'all, pray for her.
All right, definitely. If you
Oh,
guys are watching
no.
this after the fact, keep praying anyway. All right,
Yep.
we'll definitely
Yep,
do
yep.
that.
All right.
All
Love
right,
you guys.
stop the recording.